Yeah, it really was. It's almost as if you lost a good friend. It's almost as if a family member passed away. The response in San Diego, the response across Major League Baseball has been phenomenal. That's a great headline you posted there. How do you evaluate the value of a man like Peter Seidler? Is it on business accomplishments? You know, he created a $5 billion investment company in the late 1990s. Do you validate him, his personal goals, succeed in business, succeed in Major League Baseball? Is it about relationships with big business, with baseball executives, with his players, with John Q. Fan, with the media? Do you evaluate him on his charity work, what he did for the homeless, abused children, battered women? Most amazing aspect, I emailed a number of my baseball contacts and said, give me a phrase to describe who Peter Seidler is. And it's phenomenal. Amazing angle to the story. He decided to buy the Padres while he was undergoing chemo treatment in Marina del Rey.
Wow.
He of course, came from the O'Malley family.
Mhm.
That was all baseball, dating back to Walter O'Malley moving the Brooklyn Dodgers to Los Angeles in 1958. And he was involved with the Dodgers, and he came here. He was eclectic, he was generous, he was warm, he was positive, he was dynamic, he was diverse, he was a listener. My relationship with him is kind of cool. I didn't know him when he was introduced as co-partner with Ron Fowler after they bought the franchise from Jeff Morad. He came up to me afterwards and introduced himself. He was a listener of my shows on 690 and 1090 in Los Angeles.
Nice.
I could not wait to get on the freeway at 4:05 on the 4:05 to get the best 15 minutes in radio. Phenomenal, phenomenal P1 listener. How unique an individual was, and he and I got along, and he read my website, and he read my one man's opinion columns, and sometimes he would agree, sometimes we would disagree, and we'd exchange emails. I'd get emails from him at 3:00 in the morning.
Really?
Which is absolutely amazing. Once or twice, he texted me, forgetting what time of the day it was, and my phone went off at 3:00 in the morning. Unique. You know, in history, Ray Kroc saved the Padres from moving to Washington, D.C. John Moores and Larry Lucchino reinvented Padre baseball, Petco Park, World Series teams. Seidler took this thing to a new level with his decision to push all those chips to the center of the table to try to build a World Series team. He indeed really was the fans' man. And that, I think that's the storyline there. I've had a number of people send me phrases that I asked some agents and other baseball people, give me descriptions. And they said to me that Padre baseball was part of the reason Peter Seidler was so driven to rehab himself. That baseball was part of his rehab program, and it really helped him a great deal. What a unique individual. You know, and I was thinking about this morning as I was sitting in traffic. Two most impressive people, me as a member of the media, working with sports people. Two of the most impressive people I ever crossed paths with were Padres. Mr. Padre Tony Gwynn, who got it, who knew what my job was and cooperated. And that man, Peter Seidler, Padre Peter, if you will, Senior Peter, he got it too in terms of living life to the fullest. He was such a positive guy, and the things that people just wrote to me in the last 48 hours about describing who he was and how he acted and what he represented. Phenomenal person. And he always had an answer, and he always looked at the cup being half full or 3/4 full. And if there was a problem, they would solve the problem. I just think what a spectacular individual. John Rowley says,
I just say the word love. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the vibe I always got from him. And, you know, a lot of owners, I mean, there's a lot of really bad owners in sports, and we've had a number of them here in San Diego. But Peter Seidler is so different than the rest of them. I mean, yeah, sure, he's rich and he wants these spending his money on his passion, but he's just such a good guy, you know? And I've often said that Steve Fisher, the former coach of the Aztecs, is like an angel. So is Peter Seidler.
St. Peter.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, these are like, you know, gifts from heaven for San Diegans. So we're all mourning. I've seen the site at Petco Park up those stairs. I saw
The mural on the wall.
the mural. Oh, the
downtown.
mural looked really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Yu Darvish and his wife were paying their respects. So the community has really come around on this, and it's sad, but it's still coming from a place of love, and it feels okay.
I would hope that they would do something spectacular. Where they have the flowers and the pictures they put up the last 2 days.
Oh yeah.
Maybe they should name that Seidler's Stairs.
Yeah.
Or maybe they should name it Seidler Field at Petco Park.
Maybe the Stairway to Heaven.
Not a bad call. Come up with an insignia, a baseball diamond, and the letter P. Not for Padres, but for Peter.
Ah.
Instant into the Hall of Fame at Petco Park with the
Oh,
Padres.
yeah. That's
So,
like
I mean,
easy to show.
There's so many cool things that they can do, and we will never forget the guy. But I thought about all the unique people that I've crossed paths with as a working member of the media, some good, some bad. And it's just the parallel between Mr. Padre Tony Gwynn and how he treated us and how he was always available, and Senior Padre Peter Seidler and his response all times, all hours of the day. I ran into him downtown in a CVS drugstore. He was buying shaving cream. We went and stood outside and talked.
Nice.
I ran into a parking lot across the railroad tracks from Petco Park, and he had grocery bags. He was going into his office. But man of courage. I mean, he fought cancer for a good 15 years.
Yeah, he
3
did.
times. And that takes unbelievable fortitude
No doubt.
to face that on a day in, day out basis. And yet he was so optimistic about anything and everything you would ever bring up. He brought me up to his office one day, and we just sat and had coffee and just talked about him, talked about my background and all that. And it was like, it wasn't a museum. There weren't jerseys and that plaques on the wall. He had a library all the way around his office, and he had all these historical baseball books.
Nice.
And we pointed out he had like 9 books on Jackie Robinson written by all these great
Really?
authors. And I said, well, I've read books 1, 3, and 5 on Jackie. So great man, just absolutely great man. So we reflect on specialness, and St. Peter, he really was special. I think Petco Park really inspired him. I think baseball was a critical part of his recovery. And in closing, he is the only person I know who came from Dodger Blue heritage that was accepted in San Diego. How about that?
Yeah, that is. I mean, there's a couple of guys that are on that list that came from Dodger Blue that were never 100% embraced, like the Garv.
Yep.
But Peter Seidler, what a special man. And there was a quote in your One Man's Opinion column. Let's see if I got it right. It was like an ordinary man with extraordinary accomplishments.
Bingo.
And that just really summed it up. I mean, he's just a man of the people.
Hey, Fans Forum chat box is open. Opinion, memory, Peter Seidler. Feel free to join us. When we're done, we'll go from this desk to the Fans Forum desk. We want you to be part.